disclaimer that overall I still like the movie. There's some shit in it that really disappointed me overall, but critiquing it doesn't mean holy shit, it's crap. I think overall J.J. Abrams pulled it off, and if Lucas's most recent works have anything to say about it, I'm glad it went to Abrams instead of him.
Well, true. But if we go through the events of the movie and kind of discuss it afterwards, so we have the beginning sequence of the movie where you get to meet two of the main characters, with Kylo Ren and Poe. It's basically following A New Hope to the letter, don't you think?
Shit, sorry. Yeah, but this is actually, if you look at how Abrams ran it with Star Trek, this is sort of the formula that he runs with when he's adopting these new series. For instance, the second Star Trek movie more or less was The Wrath of Khan with a few twists in it. And he goes with these formulas to stay safe, I want to say, while still taking chances to venture into other territory and experiment a bit. So yes, it was more or less a parallel of a lot of the old tried and true Star Wars tropes, but I'm not sure what anyone else would have expected if they were familiar with everything Abrams has done up to now.
True. And if we continue, it basically goes back to the ship where Poe gets rescued after Finn realizes he's not up to the task of being a stormtrooper, grows a conscience, I guess, and they escape together and crash land back on Jakku. And they don't really explain how Poe comes back to the story afterwards. I mean,
they don't. This is actually it's a common, I want to say, not trope or circumstance. It's a common little plot device hook deal when it comes to sort of dogfighting movies or plane accidents like that. That I was fully expecting Poe to just suddenly come back or to have somehow survived. Because,
well, I saw the trailers, so I knew he would survive. So.
Yeah, of course. But I don't. That is something that, as far as the plot is concerned, they're just hand waving off, because there's a million ways that something could have, for whatever
Yeah,
reason.
but one line could have fixed that.
Yeah, they could have taken some time to actually write in an excuse, but even if he did, we'd still be talking about how that excuse doesn't necessarily add up. It is a lazy thing to do. It's lack of effort in using that. I'll agree with that.
I mean, Poe could have said, I walked for a day and found some outposts who had a spaceship and let me go back home against a fee." Something like that would have worked for my part.
Yeah, it is true. There was really not much of a way Poe could have gone anywhere except through that same, spaceport, or through that same settlement, because there was nothing else really nearby. And it's not like
the other village got massacred, so.
Yeah, and it's not like Poe had a homing device or walkie-talkie or any sorts of communication systems. I mean, the ship was wrecked. So, I mean, one way or another, Poe would have had to have gone through to the same spot. And
yeah,
either sooner or sometime. It would have to have been sooner. It couldn't have been later.
Yeah, and we meet Rey, who discovers BB-8, and I've heard also a lot of people talking about this, that Rey automatically knows what the droid is saying and other languages without any proper explanation.
I'm not really gonna knock that one too much, because that's just sort of a given for a lot of things in Star Wars. I mean, there's no explanation for what oh my, I guess you're gonna say. A lot of people in just throughout Star Wars, can arbitrarily on or off understand what droids are saying or what Wookiees are saying. It's not particularly consistent.
Yeah, yeah, true. But she also spoke with the guy who tried to take BB-8, and he wasn't speaking basic.
Right. But presuming that she's been at that trade outpost for who knows how many years, I mean, it's not unreasonable to, presume that she would have picked up languages just, in the course of bartering or trading. What I would find a little more awkward is, well, okay, I can even sort of write off how she learned to fight, kinda, but I guess what really makes Ray stand out is how she contrasts to others. That's what really
Yeah,
sort of.
yeah, first she gets the parts to like get some food, and when she gets offered what was it, 60 portions or something,
A lot of
to give up
portions. Yeah.
BB-8, yeah, and she's like, no, but there's no real reason she couldn't give it away unless. The droid should have at least given her something, and there's no real reason either that the droid should go with her instead of anyone else.
Yeah, that was kind of ham-fisted in why the droid went with her. Well, I mean, actually, she did rescue BB-8, and
True,
BB-8 asked
but
to stay with her, and there really wasn't anyone else that droid could go with. And with the way that they set it up, they
yeah,
sort of.
but the droid couldn't knew that. Yeah, he didn't know anyone else. So it's kind of strange because if you look at the New Hope, it's more of a coincidence that R2 and C3PO end up with Luke than
It is.
this.
Um, Kind of. I mean, I guess it is sort of arbitrary that she meets BB-8 just as BB-8 is being captured. At least in the case of R2 and C3PO, you could say they would have eventually have gone to the Luke farm since they're making that trade route. So the circumstances of the meeting were a little more conspicuous. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
and then Finn, for some reason, on the whole planet finds the outpost after maybe a few hours. That's also kind of like, again, a
yeah.
coincidences.
I could understand if they were aiming for that outpost, or if that outpost was anywhere near the one that they had taken off from. Where
Yeah,
that
because
happened.
They could have
'Cause-
explained it again simply with one line, like posing while they're crash landing because he's a good pilot. I'm gonna try to land as close as the outpost as possible, something like that. That would have explained the plot going forward a lot.
well, they were going back to Jakku, and I presume they were going for that old outpost. But
Yeah, but that again isn't explained.
kinda. I mean, they went back to Jakku for a reason. It's just a question of, is that spaceport anywhere near that original settlement that the opening took place in? I'm not sure, but if they were, then that would.
Wouldn't Ray have noticed if there was stormtroopers or something like that?
Depends on how far out it was. We also aren't entirely sure of how long Finn had been walking
Yeah, true.
since night times on Tatooine are really short. Um, Days last forever, of course, because of the suns. And yeah, we don't really know how long he was walking. I presume it's been a while, and he was sort of dehydrating.
Yeah.
I'd say maybe a day or two, if that.
At
Walking.
least several hours at least. I would say at least say 12 hours or so. But when he finally comes and gets his water, he discovers Ray, and she's beating the shit out of the locals who are going after the droid,
Yeah,
because apparently they're in league with the
they're
First
getting
Order or something.
well, they're getting paid by that one guy who said to get the droids when she refused to sell it.
Yeah,
And that during that whole disturbance is when some spy notices that the droid looks similar to the one that the First Order is looking for, and then that's when
yeah,
all that other shit happens.
that
The
might be.
Millennium Falcon is awkward though. For one,
Yeah, I
he
was
somehow lost.
just to get.
Oh, go on.
Yeah, I was just getting to that part because then the First Order comes, bumps the shit out of the outpost, and for some reason the Millennium Falcon happens to be there, and Ray, without any training, pretty much owns these TIE fighters, and
Yeah,
Finn has like 2 seconds of training with Poe, and he doesn't even know the system on that. And we know from at least from the mythology that the Millennium Falcon is like one of a kind, at least from what we know.
kind of. It is a standardized freighter that's been customized, so it's not necessarily one of a kind. It is a very famous.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, well, it's kind of been it's
but
like a car that's been fixed on with a transmission and stuff like that. You know what I mean, right?
right, but the thing is with Finn though, which leads into the overall theme of why I'm so fucking disappointed with him. They released a comic detailing Finn's backstory. And I understand this guy was supposed to be one of the best trained stormtroopers in that special little elite squadron. So I was expecting him to just, be a lot more competent than he was. They really they're really inconsistent with it. It seems like he's approaching these problems with no clue what to do, and then it's just, figuring it out on the fly, as opposed to approaching them with some idea of how they should work, as he should know how they work,
Yeah,
and then just sort of, going through with an instinct or training with it. He comes off as like Jar Jar Binks Electric Boogaloo. That's how it really sounded to me. That's how it seemed to me. It's like, where is the super elite competent stormtrooper that was splattered in the comic book and all over the advertisements with the lightsaber? This guy was advertised as someone badass, and he's the comic relief. That is, oh man, that was disappointing. In case, yeah, so Ray goes through from not knowing how to fly to pretty much flying better than Han did.
yeah, yeah. Without any training, because
No,
she even says after we see the Millennium Falcon do shit that I've never seen it do before, and or Ray basically coming after the fight after blowing the ships up, that this was the first time flying a ship. So
yeah, and I know some people try to make allusions to parallels to Anakin in Episode 1, which I think J.J. Abrams was trying to do there. Except Anakin had a lot of training and experience, and I mean,
yeah,
when he went through and won that pod race, he wasn't just suddenly, oh, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, whoop, I won the pod race. That's not how Anakin did it. He had been at that for a while, and it was the Force
yeah.
that kept him going, right?
Yeah, I was having this discussion with someone, and Anakin had several races behind under his belt, even though he never finished one, and that's because everyone crashes in each other in these pod
Right.
races. And Qui-Gon even tells the viewer, so to speak, on how he manages to do it, and we know his midi-chlorian cut is through the fucking roof. He's
Right.
basically he has more potential in the Force than Yoda, and for him to drive that thing, he even built that fucking thing because he.
Don't remind me. Okay, that's enough on Episode 1.
Yeah,
the one
yeah.
that
But I'm just making a comparison. He
right.
kind of knew what he was doing.
They
He knew his pod racer. Dre didn't know shit about the ship.
right. Anakin was an experienced pod racer. Ray, I mean, that's a thing with her. I mean, saying that she's a Mary Sue is an understatement. I mean, she's an expert at ship piloting after just picking it up. I mean, she's an expert with force powers after not even a day after believing the force didn't exist. And then she's a fucking lightsaber master after picking one up for the first time. And now apparently she's going to be Luke's. That's fucking fan fiction. Okay, that
Yeah,
is that is the best fan fiction.
yeah. Let's just go through the plot because when they
Right.
leave the planet, she continues with a whole. I know I'm waiting for my parents. I have to get back to Jakku, and
Yeah.
then suddenly Han. Well, of all the people, how the hell did he know that the Millennium Falcon was there? Of all the planets, moons, and solar systems, he knew but that's another plot with
They did
twist.
not. That's right. They did not jump to light speed after they left the planet, right?
Yeah,
So that means
no, they didn't.
Han and Chewie were, for whatever reason, still in that system, which it wasn't really explained why. Presumably, they were looking for the Millennium Falcon after losing it. He explains that he lost that to a bet, which I guess is an allusion to how he won it in the first place. So, I mean,
No. It got stolen by someone and gets stolen again and stolen again. So
Stone. Was it Stone? I thought he lost. Okay, never mind. I'm remembering that one wrong. It was
no, he didn't lose it. Someone stole it from
someone
him.
stole it. All right, then it got stolen again and ended up in Jakku.
Yeah, and
What makes that
I've also
optimistic
seen
time jump? It was 12 years, wasn't it? They were looking for it.
something like that. Um, and the thing was also when they get on board, you have these death squads going after Han, and people have been bitching and moaning about the Rathtars looking so CGI. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
oh my god.
they
Uh,
were
um, it,
pretty. They were that was kind of that was an awkward bit there. I mean, I guess it was kind of cool, but again, they really shouldn't have drawn out what happened with Finn. That's kind of again with everything fucking up with Finn, that's where it really sort of pulled me out of it because those guys fucked up everything that they got their hands on, and then with Finn, they just dragging him out like he's a damsel in distress.
yeah, because
And,
that's the second time gets his ass saved by Ray, basically.
and it's like I get what they're going for with the whole role reversal there, but why would you advertise it as anything but? That is, they just lied about Finn up to that point. That's God. Finn is a lie. God
Yeah,
damn. They
because
better fix that shit.
yeah, because first it's she basically saves his ass because he can't fly a ship
Yeah. He
with the
can't.
dam.
He can't
Uh,
fly. He can't hold his own in a fucking fist fight, and now he's getting gobbled up by monsters because he can't. He has like no situational awareness.
and Ray for some
And she masters the security controls and manages to free him at just the right time. I presume just the right time
of
because the way that the thing was dragging Finn about forever, you kind of had to wonder if it was even going to eat him.
yeah, because why does it eat everyone else and not him? It's like what? Okay. And also, I've also seen many complaints on this that after 30 years from going to a general, basically helping the empire getting destroyed, he goes back to being what he was in episode 4 again. Why?
They explained that from Ben
Yeah,
playing the dark side, and apparently Han Solo just lost his shit and went back to the only thing he knows, which is kind of weak. I understand that, but it's at least something.
Yeah, well, it's kind of weird though. But yeah, they get off the ship and fly to Canada, and I don't know if J.J. Abrams is now mixing the series or something. After the conversation, first of all, that's a throwback again to the cantina scene in episode 4, where
Yeah,
they uh, there's a blatant fan
ex-
service.
expect that. That's how Abrams has done all of his other movies whenever he's picked up a series. Expect that. There's going to be throwbacks and continuity porn all over the place. It's to pull people that are old fans of the series in, and to also, please new people to it. It's he's trying to sort of mesh it like that with mixed results, granted, but I mean it could have been worse. So I'm not going to complain about that. I mean, it was even I had that little moment where it's like, oh, but yeah, that's
Uh,
continuity porn.
yeah, but the bigger issue I have is um well, she the apparently the lightsaber calls out to her for some fucking reason,
I
which
can
we
I can understand that being all sorts of weird woo Jedi stuff, but my question is, how did fucking the lightsaber get there to begin with? Why?
yeah
That is
again.
the major
le-
plot holes there. How the fuck did that lightsaber even get there, and why was it even just sitting there for so many? It's that.
Even Han Solo asked like, "What the? Where the hell did you get that?"
Yeah, you
Because
just leave it there. How do you not answer that?
last time we saw that was 30 years before when Vader chopped the hand off. It's most likely on one of the shafts that Luke dropped into. But how the hell did someone get that? I
Yeah,
mean, and
that was the one that got cut off, not the one from Return of the Jedi.
no, it wasn't because there he had the lightsaber he constructed himself, which
Right.
means a Jedi is fully trained when as the lore says.
Man, that's Anakin. That was Anakin's saber.
Yeah, and what's so weird is why the hell does this lightsaber have memories? Because that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Well, that fuck, what was it called? Not cognition. It was that weird sort of ESP thing with objects that have strong empathic links from the users that wielded them. It's essentially an artifact, which is part of why Kylo Ren wanted to keep Vader's helmet, because they were very powerful Jedi, and those are
Well,
weapons and items that
that
were
made sense in the previous law in the expanded universe. They haven't established that in the new one, so that
This
doesn't
is
make
true.
any sense.
They didn't. I guess they could try to establish it later. Um, but yeah, as it stands right now, that is a massive plot hole as far as how that saber even got there, much less was even
And
retrieved back at Cloud City.
how would this lightsaber have memories of what Kylo Ren did? It's like,
Well, that would be Luke's memories of what happened at the academy because he was there.
yeah, but he lost all of this before he even he lost the lightsaber and his hand before he even did all of
Right.
that. So
I'm not
so
gonna.
it's just weird to me.
It is kind of awkward and arbitrary, but the Force is more or less the Deus ex machina in pretty much all the
But
series.
again, this could have been explained by Maz
They could
Kanata,
have
who
done it
seems
better.
wise.
They could have done it better. Yes, no argument there. They could definitely have done that better. But for me, regarding that scene, the biggest sort of hook in my craw was the plot hole with how she even got that saber to begin with.
Yeah, I totally agree there. And then, of course, the First Order comes. I have to say the scene where all of the X-wings come over the water and Poe basically owns everyone. That's a pretty cool scene.
That was good. They established pretty well that Poe is a
Yeah,
bad.
he is a badass motherfucker.
He's probably
Um,
one of the best characters in the movie.
yeah, I have to say he actually is. He is what he is for a good reason. But then again, we have Finn getting fucking owned by a regular
Again,
stormtrooper.
well, I think that stormtrooper was a RTR-8 or something with the
Yeah,
shotgun.
TR8. Yeah,
He was supposed. I think that was another person from his squad. So they were. I can understand that being a little, they should have played that so much better. God, there's so
yeah.
much more they could have done with that scene. They should have done more to establish that familiarity and most
Yeah,
important.
but
Finn
I've
should
also
not have just
heard.
walked up and got his ass beat. Finn is supposed to be better trained. He's supposed to be the better soldier. There's they could have established Finn's competence. I was just it was so heartbreaking watching that scene. I was like, okay, Finn, I get it. You were fumbling over the girl now, but it's fucking real nigger hours now. You gotta get your shit together. Come on, kick his ass. And no, you just gets his ass
Yeah,
beat and then fucking has to get his ass saved by someone else. Fucking pathetic.
yeah, and the thing also that struck with me, that I've seen people talk about. Why wasn't that Phasma? Why wasn't that Captain Phasma?
When do you
Was
mean?
fighting.
Oh,
Instead of being a regular soldier, why couldn't that be Phasma kicking his ass? That would have been some character development for Phasma.
yeah, Phasma kicking his ass would have made more sense.
Yeah,
And I do
because
agree that
she would know him. She would know him.
Phasma needed more screen time. That was so tragically underused. Though I suppose Phasma herself being there might have been up. Well, no, because she was also present during the last assault in the opening scene, wasn't she?
Yeah,
And Ren was there. Yeah, why the fuck wasn't Phasma there? I was gonna say it would have been kind of awkward for her to be there, but no, that would have made perfect sense for her to be there, along with Kylo Ren and the other stormtroopers from that squad, just like in the beginning.
yeah,
Yeah,
and she could have just owned him and just left with Kylo Ren, leaving him alive or unconscious or something because they
well,
had to go. That would have
yeah,
made perfect sense.
or yeah. I mean, I would have accepted Finn getting saved somehow at that point for whatever reason.
Yeah, well, I would have I would have imagined like they would have to retreat when she was going in for the killing blow, and Kylo Ren says, "Hey, we have to go now" or
Or
something.
she could have gotten blasted. One small little detail, a couple small details. For one, I loved that the stormtrooper rifles were all fucking tactical and had that weird modernish
Yeah,
design
that
to it.
was cool.
That was cool. And also another thing, a lot of the stormtroopers that got shot didn't stay down. At least a few of them didn't, which is supposed to have been a thing. I know a lot of people on the outside wondered why all the stormtroopers went down with one shot all the time in the series. And what they didn't establish, or what's supposed to be the case, is that the stormtrooper armor protects them. They fall down when they get shot because that shit hurts, and I can tell you from experience that shit hurts, but they're not actually dying.
Yeah,
Whereas in the very beginning scene when fucking Poe clips that guy, he didn't get him any armor. At least I don't remember. That was a nasty shot. Good God, that brought back memories. In any case, but I mean, Phasma could have gotten blasted, sure, and survived. That's completely reasonable. I mean, she's tough. She's wearing special armor. It's fine. She should have. You're right. I'll agree with that. They could have put in Phasma. They could have done a lot of things there to have, God, just done it better. They could have done so much more of that. God damn it, Finn.
a full screen boss fight in the chat says, "Good old set dressing Phasma." And then we go to the same scene, which is kind of going at the same time, where Kylo Ren, or I mean Han gives Rey the gun before they go into the palace, and I know Rey and Finn had some exchange telling he's a stormtrooper, but that kind of just fell flat, and he gave her, and then, do you know how to use the gun? And she, yeah, like, of course. And then she just takes the safety on and shoots fucking everyone. And
Well, no, she fucked up when she used it at first. I remember.
yeah, because the safety, yeah, well, but she forgot
So
to.
she was lying about that. So that's okay. She's like, oh yeah, I know how to use it, and she doesn't know how to use it. Which I'm surprised because she knew how to use everything else she fucking picked up.
Yeah, but if you see that wasn't was also not how to use it, because the only thing she had to do was take the safety
Yeah,
on and blast everybody.
bullseyeing
She
people. Yeah.
yeah, she was shooting everyone. So then Kylo Ren comes after her, and he owns her basically.
Yes. Complete
He
complete 180 from what
completely.
happened later, which is it's dumb. The way they handled Kylo Ren was. I mean, overall, I mean, I know we're being nitpicky about a lot of other stuff, but what really just sort of really grinded at me throughout most of the movie was Finn. Everything else had issues, but it didn't really make the left turn for me until near the end. But we'll get to that.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. So Ray is getting he's deflecting all of her shots, basically toying with her, and then
Yeah,
freezes her in one spot, and then no finds out she has seen the map, and that snaps, and she falls over.
yeah. He already sees part of the map in her mind there, which just we'll get to why that's such. Oh god, it just makes it so much more bullshit what happens later. In any case, yes, here they very clearly establish Kylo Ren as someone who could just do that
Yeah,
without even
he's
trying too
trained.
hard.
You can see he's trained. He knows how to deflect shots. Luke did barely know how to do that in Episode 4 because he had the training droid. You remember?
Right? Yeah. So when Kylo Ren is not like a noob here, he has some training. He knows what he's doing, and he's powerful.
Yeah.
They've established that he is powerful, if not fully trained. His little outragey outbursts. I mean, people were playing it off as emo, but no, that's kind of how it goes with Sith before you become, sort of.
Well, he wasn't really Sith, so
He wasn't right.
if he was really Sith, he would have just wasted everyone. So um
He was still in
and
training, and
uh,
if you look back at how the sort of dark side in training um, goes as it was, I mean, that's consistent. I mean, Anakin fucking spurged out. If you watch like the Clone Wars series, what Asajj Ventress when she was in training, she always fucking spurged out. That's how it goes when
I
you.
mean, take a look at I think it was Episode 5 or something when they go off with and manage to go with hyperdrive and blast off, and you can just feel Vader just being so pissed off. He would have killed anyone who was in his path there. So he even kills like 3 or 4 admirals during
Yeah,
the trilogy. So saying that Sith don't fucking spurge out is fucking stupid.
right.
So
But when they go as they advance along in their careers, as they learn to master that anger, it turns from that sort of raging fire to that sort of cold dagger in the heart kind of focused hatred,
yeah,
and
like
that's when
they
they
can
become more and more dangerous.
yeah, actually you hit it right in the head.
So
But also
Kylo Ren wasn't quite there yet, but like you said,
yeah.
they established early on that Kylo Ren knew what the fuck he was doing. Wasn't a
I mean,
pussy.
he throws the shots in mid-air in the
Yeah,
beginning.
he throws a shot in midair. He fucking forced through people, and I think he even force choked one other person.
Yeah, or he force pulled one of the officers. But
Yeah,
you also see that when he brings her back, uh, Han sees her. That's when they could have had a moment where he sees her uh, and they have some sort of connection or something like that. Uh,
Yeah,
And when
Kylo Ren should have done some because every other time Han was around, Kylo Ren even sensed when Han Solo was on the same planet before and made a big deal about it, but he didn't seem to care about it at that point, which is interesting.
Yeah, and perhaps he was more busy doing his thing. And we know he is obsessed with Vader, basically praying or talking to the helmet of Anakin or
Yeah.
slash Darth Vader. So
Well, this
uh,
also plays to part of the EU. I remember we talked about this before, and I had it backwards. It wasn't originally Ben was Luke's son,
yeah,
who, and it was I think it was Jason who had gone one of Solo's kids in the old extended universe. It was one of Solo's kids who went on to become a Sith, and also had that similar obsession with Vader, mostly as a failure of Luke to really connect with them about the hazards of the light and dark side of the Force.
Jason Solo.
It's Jason, China, and Anakin. I think was the third.
Yeah, Anakin. Yeah, they were
Yeah,
twins, Jason and the other one.
China.
I can't remember.
I think it was China.
Yeah, I think he was named Darth Cadus, I believe. I
I don't
be
remember.
mistaken there.
I remember the Darth name was kind of dumb. They made a big deal about revealing it and had that stupid contest. God, so much of the old EU was garbage, and some people are complaining about a lot of the EU being non-canon. And let's put it out there. There are a few gems in the EU, like the Thrawn trilogy and a few other points, but a lot of it was absolute garbage. A lot of it was just
True.
Mara Jade's gone. Nothing of value was lost. Okay. I
Yeah, but
mean,
you also had the Darth Bane trilogy, Darth Plagueis. There were a
yeah,
lot of cool stuff as well.
this is
Uh,
true. We lost some
uh,
good stuff, but a lot of it was shit. And even at like
true, true.
the fucking ton of Wookiee Jedi's that to God.
Yeah,
I
we
don't know
have
why
from
they make Wookiee Jedi. It's like
we have from the chat saying
oh,
he actually confirms Jason Solo becomes Darth Cadus, and
right.
also says agrees with us saying yeah, emotions are a large part of the how the dark side users get their powers.
It is.
So
And that's why it was such a big deal when we'll get to that. We'll get to the spoiler. God, fucking Ed spoiled that shit for me. I can't. For those that don't know, Encyclopedia put Han Solo dies as their picture of the now big front page. Um, so
well,
that's why I got that
we
spoiled.
can continue with
Yeah,
when Han Solo goes back to the base and he says they could have done it more subtly. I've also seen this complaint, and I kind of agree with that as well, where they could have said, "I saw him," and that was it, and
yeah,
not
they kind
hammer fisted it in, saying, "I saw our son. You have to get him back."
they kind of
Like,
really glossed over. And I can understand time constraints for it being a movie, but they could have handled it better. That reunion with Solo and Leia, because they made it seem like that was the first time, and who knows how many years he'd even seen her or even talked to her.
yeah.
And he finally shows up and with the absolute shit news after having to get his ass saved, and uh it's
C3PO, I mean, I know he's kind of a funny guy, but he was
I'm,
completely misused in that scene because he totally
yeah,
fucked up that scene.
they could have done a lot better with C3PO. And they also didn't really explain why they didn't just jack into R2 and get that information out of him before, like they've
Because he
done.
was in low power mode or some shit.
So
Like,
what? It's not the first
uh,
time they completely fucked up R2 to get something out of him.
yeah, again. And when they come back to the base, Finn suddenly knows everything on the Star Killer base, which for
It's
some reason is like a planet that can suck up fucking solar energy.
that's I'm not even really gonna gloss over that because then you're getting into the science of Star Wars, and
No, but like the plot that it's just bigger than fucking Death Star is fucking stupid.
It
After
is.
just it's fucking stupid.
It's a Star Wars, the fucking Death Star 3, and what killed me, like I was expecting.
Oh, let's just build something that already fucking failed twice, where we
I
did
was
all the
hoping,
precautions.
I was really hoping that they had like some sort of fail safe or some sort of something that would save the station, just so they can say, "Whoops, hey, we learned our lesson the last two times." But no, they could have really put a
We're gonna
really
get
good
to that.
twist on that.
But
Yeah. Oh, God.
the whole thing with that, they just blow up the fucking Republic.
That's
Like,
that's another thing. It's ambiguous. They blew up three worlds. We know they didn't blow up Coruscant. We know
it
they
was a
didn't blow up.
Hosnian. I've actually asked about this at the Reddit on Star Wars on r slash Star Wars, and they said it's not Coruscant that gets blown up, but there's no explanation. What did the Republic do? How long? What
Well,
is their role?
it wasn't the Republic. From what they sort of explained, the Republic is off doing
Well,
its own
Senate,
thing.
Senate. Sorry, the
Yeah,
Senate.
the there it was supposed to be some thin political commentary. Um, not Rhea. Leia is running her resistance because the Republic isn't doing anything, which is why the resistance is so sort of
Yeah, but
scrabbly.
that isn't fucking explained.
It's not. It's implied. I mean, it's supposed to be
Implied.
it's supposed to be commentary about how things are presently. It's a knock on U.S. politics. That's unless you sort of got that, then none of that made any sense.
Because I've been listening to podcasts trying to get into. I've not read the books, but I've heard what like the TLDR versions. Of course, not every detail, but pretty
Right.
much I know how the world looks, and they never even mention it in the books how the resistance or even the first overlord comes up when
They don't.
they were fucking destroyed. There was nothing left of the
Well,
fucking empire,
it's
or
not, and
from the main army at least.
that's not true either. Because I mean, blowing up the first Death Star didn't stop the Empire. Blowing up the second
True.
Death Star didn't stop the Empire. And remember, this is like 30 to 40 years, 30 years in the future.
Yeah, again, they could have explained this.
Well, the EU, like if you want to, contrast to the EU, there's like the Empire was very slow to actually die off. It took a lot of kicking. There was that point where even Luke went to the dark side briefly with the clone emperor,
True.
and God, it was such garbage. In any case, a lot of the EU was shit. Okay, just it is
Yeah,
not.
and
I,
he made
I
like
will miss.
tornadoes in space.
I
He
will
made the
miss.
tornadoes in space.
I
Jesus
will.
Christ.
I will miss some of the good gems, which I think he's supposed to be trying to incorporate, like with the twist with Ben Solo, etc. But a lot of you is shit. I will say that until I'm blue in the face. But it's sort of a plot hole because it's 30 years and they don't explain anything about what happened in those 30 years. It's just we're here now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
And
it's kind of weird. I kind of get that they would build an army, but how they're so fucking OP compared to the Resistance. It's like a New Hope all over again.
yeah,
I
it's like
don't.
how does I mean they're supposed to be like hiding out in are they in the Outer Rim? No,
I
they weren't just in the
they
Outer
don't
Rim.
even
They were in
say.
the
They
unknown.
don't even.
They were in they were way out there. But you are right. I mean, they don't really. You can't do that without people knowing. There's no way that this is like a fucking surprise to the Republic. In A New Hope, I can understand it being a surprise to the Resistance at the time, but not the Republic. I mean, the Republic 30 years after A New Hope is no, no. There's no way they don't have any kind of intelligence, that they don't have anything that would give them an idea that these guys are making a new Death Star, and it's just awkward. I understand that it's supposed to be political commentary regarding politics, but it's it's not very well done. Why the Republic would be sitting on its ass when the new
Yeah.
Death Star is being built on not necessarily.
Not just the Death Star, the fucking planet that
Yeah,
could blow the shit out of them, and they do. It's
they
like, what the fuck?
have 4 worlds, and there's nothing that really. They don't really. They kind of gloss over that slightly. They look up in the sky. It's like, oh no, we lost 4 planets. Whoops. Like it's fucking Warhammer 40K, and that's just something that happens.
And there's nothing more after that. It's like, okay, let's just continue our stuff. They don't even say, oh fuck, the whole Republic
It's
or
like,
the Senate got blown up. It's like, okay, let's just continue our shit.
like this
Uh,
exterminate from 4 planets. Yeah, well, that happens. That's how the
uh,
Imperium does it. Like,
and this is basically the second act, and now we get to the most troublesome third act, where Finn or Leia interrogates him and tries to find out how to take down this base, and compare it to A New Hope, where they had intricate fucking details of the Death Star, and they had nothing
that
with this new.
this is what's awkward to me about that scene. On one hand, I can understand that Finn would know something about the Star Killer base, but they pull out. I mean, even for all that Finn tries to describe it and may or may not be talking out of his ass, they have the holographic display where they just sort of bring up everything that he detailed to them, and it's like, you have that. Why did you even have to fucking ask him? It's like, it's like, where did you get those fucking blueprints from? It's like,
Yeah, exactly.
it's like why are you even asking? You got it right there.
And Finn basically does this not to save the Resistance, but to save Rey. Okay,
Yeah.
and this is where the where Han Solo does his crazy shit and goes through lights.
That was cool. That was kind of
Yeah,
a
yeah, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that's basically Han does shit and it works. Basically,
that's Han Solo, but
yeah, and they land on the planet. And in the meantime, this is where we now find out that how Kylo Ren's face looks, and he's
yeah.
torturing. And this is where he's torturing Rey, and suddenly she's fighting back and saying,
Not, not,
"You."
not, not only is she resisting, she's fighting back. She just completely turns it on him. Like it's fucking JoJo versus Dio here. Only she doesn't have Star Platinum. She has fucking Star Mary Sue plot device. Just
It's like if it was a game, it's like she levels 50 levels, and he's level 20 in like a span of 10 seconds.
and so
And
I mean, she just
yeah, it's just,
she turns it on it. She completely just turns it around on him and is digging into his mind. That is what's so amazing. I can understand if she was resisting it and he had trouble getting in, but she just turns it around on him, right? Mind you, she not even a day ago she thought the Force was a myth, and here she is just fucking flipping the tables on someone who's way more experienced, way more powerful than she is, and then immediately afterwards, where does she even know to think of the fucking mind trick or
I was gonna get to that because we just talked about this 5 minutes ago. Kylo Ren fucking owns her in that forest. He owns her, and then when she wakes up, she fucking owns him. What the fuck?
And not only that, but even after that amazing display of pulling the Force out of her ass, why is there like no security on her afterwards? Like, why are you gonna leave one guard on her? You know what she can do, but what is that shit? You should know better. No, you don't leave someone under the low security after she just got finished kicking your ass, Kylo Ren. Why would you leave her under like no guard?
Yeah, it's like and that was also Daniel Craig being which was kind of cool, and we also had Simon Pegg being the fat guy in on Jakku, which was also kind of cool. But that's beside the point.
Yeah.
But when she just without any fucking training, she doesn't know anything anything.
It's beyond training. Okay, how does she even know that is a thing? Okay,
Anakin doesn't even know that shit before the second movie.
does she
Luke doesn't
fucking
even use that.
does she fucking pause and look up the moves list or something? I don't get it. How does she even
Yeah,
know?
I have to look for combos. Just 1 second. It's like how do you even know? You have to be trained by a fucking Jedi for perhaps at least a year or something
I
to
could
know that.
I mean, I would even be willing to accept that she, just awkwardly mastered it after being introduced to it, like she does everything else. But this goes beyond that. She just, how is she even introduced to the concept that Jedi can do this? How does she even know that it exists? How does, what? It, I mean, no one is even there to give her the idea or to even let her know that this is possible. She's just I just okay. God, it's dumb. It's so fucking dumb. Go on.
Yeah, and this is where Kylo Ren again has his, which is kind of a funny scene where he just fucks up the cell where she was, and you see the two stormtroopers. Oh shit, he's at
Yeah.
it again. We just gonna, we're just gonna fuck off, because he's gonna probably kill us or something.
Like
So
you better go fucking find her, or that's gonna be you in that room.
yeah, exactly. That was a good scene where
Yeah,
that's how you use humor, and
that
then
was
you
good.
we
They kind of really
we
downplayed that people kind of needed to search for her and that their lives depended on it. Um,
yeah. And she soon goes, and she's almost out because there are two guards basically guarding that TIE fighter, and we know she's a brilliant pilot for some fucking reason.
God.
And then we find Han, Chewie, and Finn.
They tried to parallel the New Hope there again with her sneaking around the new Death Star. It's essentially what it is. But
Yeah,
I mean, they didn't know Ben was there before. I mean, Vader sort of got his sense about it, but I mean, Ben didn't sort of pop in until the last minute. That was a surprise. Everyone knew that she was there, and everyone knew Ray was there. Everyone knew she was on the loose, and everyone knew that if she wasn't found, they were all going to die one way or another. And it's a little too sort of casual, I guess. I mean, why oh God, they should have been scouring that fucking base for her. Especially after seeing Kylo Ren just fucking flip his shit like that. You'll just say, "Whoops, oh, not my problem." It's like, no, it is your problem, and he has made it explicitly clear that it is everyone's problem when he is upset.
yeah. And I hear a full screen boss fight in the chat says, I've heard people use the excuse secret Jedi training to explain it, but if
What's
it's
secret
not
Jedi training?
explained, yeah, exactly. But I explain in
If a
the
Force Ghost popped in and said, "Hey, do this," I mean that would have been stupid, but better than just out of her ass. I mean, what secret Jedi training? God, no. It's not like the fucking ending of Dark City where the guy like implants memories of how to do all. I mean, that was actually a cool scene. If anyone hasn't seen Dark City, that is really the only sort of acceptable means of someone pulling master powers out of their ass. But
yeah. Just let me finish. I've heard people use the excuse of secret Jedi trying to explain, but if it's not explained in the film, how the hell do you think that's Mary Sue logic? Which basically, I think I know what he means by that. That she was trained as a young by perhaps Luke Skywalker, and he wiped her mind. But that still doesn't explain how the fuck she
no,
gets so overpowered. And such. Anyways, back to the story
yeah,
where
that doesn't explain. She shouldn't have been able to fucking outdo Kylo Ren. She's been out of it for years. I mean,
yeah.
remember, even if we assume, let's entertain that argument. Let's assume that she was trained as when she was young, and that for whatever reason she got mind tricked or whatever and forgot about it. Just understand for one how thorough this was. I mean, she thought the Force was an absolute fucking myth until getting her ass owned by it. And then let's assume that during the struggle, it all came back to her. It would have made sense for her to resist, but to completely flip the tables on Kylo Ren like that, no, just bullshit. Just it. Either way, it is dumb. It does not make sense.
And then we have the thing with where they capture Captain Phasma, and Finn goes like, oh yeah, what are you gonna do now?" Like,
Fucking Jar Jar Binks. I mean, it is so completely unlike how they advertise the character. Not only just in the posters and whatnot, but also in the backstory that they gave to him. It is so completely unlike anything I was expecting out of Finn. I mean, there were so many moments where they could have shown that, Finn was ultimately a competent soldier that could, put his head in the game when it was needed. And this is another one of those opportunities. They just blew it. It's like, aren't you supposed to fucking know what you're doing past the point here, Finn? No, it's just you gotta act like you're 12. Yeah, good. All right, guy. Just God.
yeah, and like Finn and Phasma just drops her shit and opens the shields of everything just like that.
She didn't even.
And then
I was expecting there to be like some kind of failsafe or some way that she would trick them or fool them or secretly set an alarm. It's just something she would do to outwit them, since there is no excuse. The way that situation was set up, there is no reason why Phasma wouldn't have even attempted to outwit them. I mean, what are they gonna do? Kill her anyways? It's just Jesus.
And then this is the biggest, I don't know if fan service or wink, which shouldn't have been in the fucking movie. Hey, do you know any trash compactor shoot? And I'm like, oh my god,
that was hokey. Yeah, that was. I mean, what is she gonna do? What is she gonna do immediately? What is she gonna do while tumbling down in the trash compactors? Say, hey guys, the shield's down. Want to put it back up? Apparently it's only the press of a button.
And we even know in A New Hope, if we compare it again to A New Hope, there is only one place the shield or the tractor beam can be put on, and Obi-Wan takes care of that. It's explained.
Yeah, and they explicitly disable. Oh yeah, in the New Hope, they go out of their way to ensure that they can't just fucking flip the tractor beam back on when they try to escape.
Exactly.
Here, all they don't do. There is really no reason why someone couldn't just put the shield right back the fuck up, especially after noticing it goes down.
And then it continues with them Finn doesn't know what moving your head up means. Like, what does this mean? In a universal language, it means behind you or something.
That's just I don't know why they will go out of their way to undermine Finn as being some incompetent, blumbering idiot after advertising him as the exact opposite of that. It is just. I mean, I remember. Go on.
Finn being there didn't even have to be there because
he was irrelevant. Finn did nothing except just get his ass kicked again. Which, I mean, it was cool to see him stand up to Kylo Ren. I mean, that was a good scene.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're gonna get to that stuff.
Okay. But otherwise, yeah, he did nothing.
Because Rey got free of her own. I mean,
yeah, and I guess that's the whole princess gets to save herself deal. And I mean, sure, but that still doesn't make Finn. And I mean, all it means is that everything they did to completely just fuck over Finn's character was beyond unnecessary. It was God, why would they do that?
And then
we expected a lot more of Finn than that.
Yeah, and then they all get together, and they can't get through the shields because Poe Dameron is fighting with them, which I find they were kind of few. It's because I counted them the second time, and I could only count 11 ships. And a middle in the battle, they say half of a fleet is gone. What fucking fleet? It's not a fucking fleet even.
They didn't have a fleet. I think they established that even prior. They didn't have a fleet. They had some ragtag little group of, ironically actual rebels this time. And it
Yeah,
makes me
and
wonder. I mean, they were beyond outnumbered there. They just, I mean, I understand what they were trying to go for, but it doesn't make
but
sense how that little group just completely.
again, in New Hope, they had a fucking plan. They they
Yeah.
had to be few doing that.
And even then, in A New Hope, they had way more than just 11 ships, and they lost more than God. I mean, you know how few of them even made it out of that.
Yeah,
But
you
here,
saw all of them basically blow up, basically.
and man, so they go through and
Place the
understand the Death
charges.
Star. The Death Star took um, two very well placed torpedoes, sort of dead
Which,
into the core.
yeah, which were guided by Luke
Right, and
through the
here you
Force.
need Poe. I mean, does Poe even use fucking torpedoes when he jumps in there and just starts shooting shit up? I just,
Yeah, yeah, he does, but the shield is so strong.
I mean, he goes inside, zaps a few things, and leaves, and that's it.
Oh, that's later. That's later. About in the
Yeah.
beginning, I mean.
Oh, in the beginning, yeah, because I'm not hitting the right spot.
Yeah, they do bombing runs. Anyways, then they can't get through the shields, and they Han and Chewbacca. Oh, we brought a lot of things to blow shit up with. So let's put some charges.
That makes sense for Chewbacca to bring the explosives, so I'm okay with
Yeah,
that.
yeah, that does make sense. But that's when we have perhaps the least payoff scene in, I don't know, perhaps in Star Wars, where
Um,
it's basically Ben versus Vader again in New Hope on that bridge.
I don't understand. I mean, I get no. Here's why it is so fucked up. What happened? They understand in this scene. They established that Kylo Ren was facing sort of his ultimate test here. This was his final test. That is what Kylo Ren had to do. That was the final obstacle. This was the largest emotional barrier to him, you know, progressing forward in the Force, right? In the dark side of the Force. Is this killing your own father just in cold blood like that? Jesus fuck. I mean, just beyond how what it would take to do that. I mean, understand as someone in chat mentioned earlier that this is the shit. I mean, because in particular, I've heard arguments that oh no, Kylo Ren was emotionally disturbed from killing his father. That's so traumatic. Oh no, it's like motherfuckers. That is exactly what fuels the dark side of the Force. Okay, you know, the fact that Kylo Ren was even capable of that. Okay, I mean, Kylo Ren should have not only should he not have gotten his ass kicked, he should have been like fucking in beast mode after that. You understand what that does to the dark side, with the anger, the rage, the confusion, and all that everything that fuels the dark side of the Force it is there, and he had just passed his last test. It was, I mean, Kylo Ren should have been sort of that was his moment. He should have been fucking unstoppable. I mean,
We should have
I thought that's what they
leveled
were
up
going with it
basically.
because he shrugged off fucking Chewbacca's fucking bolt and hit him dead in the fucking stomach. He just like fucking get that shit out of my face. I'm like, oh shit, fucking Kylo Ren's about to murder some people. No,
Well,
no,
well, I can kind of get where they were going with the scene, but it would have been have more impact, like we said before we came this far. If they had some sort of interaction where we
yeah,
knew they had a connection and had some connection between the characters,
they,
and he shouldn't have taken his helmet off on in the interrogation with Ray. That
yeah,
completely spoiled this fucking scene because
should
it
have
had
taken off
no
then.
it had no weight when he put his helmet off.
Yeah, it was.
But what I liked about that scene, I don't want to completely shit on this movie, but where he says that the light calls to me and it's tearing me apart or something like that. He says
Yeah.
that's a really good interaction between them, and
Mhm.
it shows that he's actually a good guy, but
Well, there is light in him. Only he didn't turn to it. He turned away from it. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
that scene. What kills me wasn't the fact that Han Solo died. It's how what happens afterward makes the scene completely pointless.
Yeah,
I mean,
I totally agree.
Han's death
So
was wasted because Kylo Ren, after, I mean, that is probably the greatest accomplishment that that is the greatest accomplishment in all of his training and everything when it comes to mastering the dark side of the Force. Just that is probably the most difficult thing that he could have done. You just that is it. He was. Do you
and he did the
understand where that puts him?
opposite of Darth Vader. He did the opposite of Darth Vader,
Yeah,
and he chose the dark side instead of the light.
and,
Vader
and
chose the light.
and then he goes on and just gets his ass kicked by someone who didn't know what the Force was yesterday and hasn't picked up a lightsaber in her fucking
Yeah.
life.
First of all,
What is this shit?
let's kind of go through the motions. So Chewbacca gets shot to. You're kind of echoing. I don't know if you have
Oh,
speakers
me,
on.
I'm sorry. But yeah, go on.
Chewbacca goes flips his shit. He shoots Kylo Ren. I don't know if it's a hip or something, and then he blasts everyone and blows the shit up. And this is where we get to the scene in the forest. Go and tell
Yeah.
what you thought of it.
So in the forest, we have a moment that underlines that Kylo Ren should be able to kick Rey's ass because he just like flicks her off like some pissant annoying bug, just out of my face with that shit. And then he goes on to fight with Finn, and just putting it all together, it is so wildly inconsistent. I mean, Finn is able to somewhat hold his own against Kylo Ren, which makes sense in the context of what Finn's character is. It just doesn't it doesn't fit with how Finn has been presented anywhere in the movie up to this point. Okay, so I don't understand why they chose this moment to portray Finn as they should have been portraying him the entire fucking time. I mean, they should have established earlier that Finn is capable of even pulling his head out of his ass.
Yeah, and since we didn't get the Phasma versus Finn fight, why did he get his ass kicked when by that stormtrooper? That doesn't make. We already knew he would get his ass kicked. Yeah,
fucking got Finn was top of his class. There's no reason Finn should have lost that fight. Finn should not have lost that fight against the other guy. Finn was the better soldier. They had established that and everything about Finn's character. I mean, in the movie, Finn is just fucking Jar Jar 2.0, so I guess it's internally consistent, but it is completely opposite to how they have been advertising and establishing the character before the movie.
because that's how you do a basic movie telling. Like usually in a movie, you do, early in the movie you show perhaps a skill the protagonist, one of the main character has, so
Chekhov's gun.
you know this guy is good. Perhaps a fight, a race, whatever.
All
And
they had was a couple of lines very early on saying that he was very well trained, but the rest of that.
yeah, but they could have done that with that fight between.
Shown that they could have shown that was the moment where Finn should have got his head out of his ass. Like I said earlier, I mean, I was rooting for him in that scene. I was just like, come on, Finn, let's go. It's fucking time. It's just your one job. Your one job, Finn. Come on. This is it. I mean, everything in the backstory, everything in the advertisements was leading up to this moment with you wielding the saber about to kick some fucking ass. Let's go. Let's do it. And then, oh God, just no. What happened?
Well, I actually observed because first in the first time
they should have had more interaction between. They should have had something more between Finn and that trooper because, as I understand, that guy was also part of the same squad. They should have.
But I didn't know that. I didn't actually know that. only thought, oh, he's part of the First Order, and he's like a traitor. I didn't even know this before after seeing the movie when someone pointed it out. So
Yeah, there was supposed to be some history between the two of them, which is another thing that was sort of spoiled. I mean, not that they needed an entire new scene for it. There's only like a couple of lines of something they could have done, even just some banter during the fight that could have established that connection. The sort of,
they could have done that during the first scene when they land and he talks to someone.
yeah,
That's simple. And
Yeah, yeah, at least have the guy as his, like squad leader or squad officer. But instead, you just have another generic troop just somehow with that baton thing and started fighting. You would at least expect someone wearing one of those officer shoulder pads.
now,
yeah,
well, they were part of that elite troop, but they didn't like he was saying, they didn't really express it. They didn't show that. There was no reason just within the movie itself for anyone to believe that it wasn't just some random trooper who's just suddenly knew his shit. I mean, there were within the greater context of the lore, it's consistent, but with how it was portrayed in the movie, it was weak, and they blew a lot of opportunities to really make an impact on that scene. But then again, they just blew every opportunity they had with Finn. I don't know what the fuck they were doing with that character.
well,
On the contrary.
I mean, I love the actor. I love the concept. I love everything that went behind Finn. There was so much opportunity, so much potential. They should have just fucking took off, and then it's just like watching fucking Challenger. That's
well, if we look at the fight, because first time I saw the fight between Kylo Ren and Finn, because Rey of course gets tossed first, and Finn tries to protect her. So first time I thought Finn held his own much longer than I thought he did, but then I watched it again, and Kylo Ren pretty much toys with him because he tries to get his blood flowing and his shit together because he just got shot by Chewbacca. You see him beating his chest like, yeah, I have to get my shit together, and then he gets, I think he gets a little strike to the one of the shoulder, and he just fucking owns Finn.
Playing around, and Finn surprisingly gets that one shot in, and he's like, okay, time to stop playing around, and then drops it.
Yeah, exactly. I think I didn't play around. He was just getting his shit together because he was just shot. But
I don't have a lot of complaints about Finn versus Kylo Ren. I think that I mean, I can nitpick at it and find things that went better, but as it was, I mean, it's not bad. I'm okay with that.
yeah, so I can understand it took a little longer than perhaps, so I can understand kind of that interaction. But then when he tries to get the saber and it flies past him and she lights the fucking saber, it's like, what the fuck?
How does she even know they can do that? It's like
no shit. And how the hell did they get that saber in the first place?
How the hell does she even know? How the hell does she even know Jedi can do that? How does she even know where the fucking saber was? Was she just like, was it like fucking Dragon Ball Z and she was just standing there watching the entire fucking time or something?
She got thrown like 20 feet in the air and slammed into the ground, and I don't know.
Knocked the fuck out.
Yeah,
mind you, it's funny because that is literally the only scratch she takes during that entire fight. I'm surprised her clothes didn't even get dirty. Okay, that's how just fucking over the top Mary Sue bullshit that last fight was.
Oh yeah, Mary Sue.
What I did like though, between when Kylo Ren and Finn fought, we actually saw the use of the hilt. Because he used the hilt to fuck up Finn's shoulder and then cut his back. That was a genius move from the choreographer, showing that it had some use. But then we get to the fight where, like for the first minute, he fucking owns. He owns her, and then they stand at the edge of the cliff. And
here's the thing: he doesn't necessarily own her. I mean, he's winning, but she's holding her own.
Yeah.
Finn, when Finn actually has some kind of training.
Well, I'm comparing to the fight that comes later because he says, you know the way of the force or something like that. I can teach you. And that's when everything is
Shit in the past.
every. That's
Yeah,
when I just.
that made it worse.
The
It's like
consistency.
what.
But it was what. I mean, it's like, did you suddenly forget what your guard is there for, Kylo? I mean,
That's where I lost my last suspension of disbelief, is when she just closes her eyes and just fucking owns him.
Okay, that fight to some it should be a survival fight. It's basically survive till this duration of time, and Chewbacca will come and save her, prevent the fight going any longer. Then you get a sense that Kai Long, I just gonna call him emo, should be a threat. But the damn movie just shown this guy is a non-threat from beginning to the end. The way he goes temper tantrum like that. And talk about non-threat, the brain of the Toth character, what kind of general would just give out highly classified information like that? Who wrote this shit? Seriously, who wrote this?
it's god damn it.
And
Yeah,
furthermore,
I 100% agree. That entire scene would have been better if Kylo Ren would have just fucking regulated, and then Chewbacca came in to save the fucking day, as it should have been.
yeah, and talk about the character consistency. I want to make a quick comparison between Luke Skywalker as he was in A New Hope and the way Rey is. Okay, some of my friends.
You know what happened the first time Luke Skywalker got into his first saber fight, okay? So let's.
It wasn't even in the first movie.
Let's talk about piloting skill. If you haven't talked about that already.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Luke wasn't necessarily a master pilot. I mean, that was all just not getting his ass beat and then getting that lucky shot in which, using the force.
Yeah, but at least he had
Actually, I would add on a few things.
Training.
He did that training, prior experience, which Rey did not have.
Yeah, okay, a quick one. Pay great attention on the way Briggs Darklighter talked to Luke. He hinted that they go through academy together, right?
Yes.
And that his uncle and aunt are against him doing more of that. So that shows Luke has enough experience to operating single-seated spacecraft to be immediately trained and put into the fight. Like like one of those World War II pilot who has been flying the crop dusters. They just with a bit more training, boom, worthy to fly as long as he's attached to a good wing commander. Done. And on the other hand, Rey was flying a YT-1300 Corellian freighter with a displaced cockpit. That means this shit is very hard to fly.
Imagine it's like someone who has never driven a car before, right? Suddenly knowing how to drive an antique. And not, and they don't immediately grind. They don't make coffee with the transmission or something. I mean, not only do they not make coffee with the transmission, but they get that thing fucking flying smooth. And God,
I would say, what the fuck is that? I was amazed by how awesome that thing is. I was like, what the fuck am I looking at? This basically throw any concept out of the window. Mary Sue, like you said, fucking Mary Sue. And the one thing is, I talked to this with my friends. Suddenly, some of my friends or colleagues hinted me has something against female character. I said, fuck no. Do you know who is my most favorite female wing commander? Fucking Cara Thrace from the new Battlestar Galactica. I would name her among the best wing commander alongside with Wedge Antilles.
I wasn't even mad about Starbuck.
Christopher Blair, Roy Fokker, Cara Thrace, the four best fictional wing commanders.
Roy Fokker, God, those are heartbreaking memories. Have you seen Macross Frontier?
Oh my God!
They do some shit there that had me going like, like you motherfuckers never do this shit again. Oh, sorry, go on.
Yeah, let's get back because in this fight between Kylo Ren and when the tables turn, she fucks him up so bad. Arm, shoulder, and then his fucking face.
God, they should have saved that for the sequel or something. I mean, maybe like here they should have just barely escaped Kylo Ren. They should have
Exactly.
really got away. And then maybe like in the next movie, fucking she gets training, and when they go to fight, Finn hopefully becomes force sensitive and gets his shit together. And then like maybe the two of them can go on and fight Kylo Ren together, and then then Kylo Ren can get his shit fucked up.
But they made it clear that Finn wasn't force sensitive.
Well, they didn't make it clear. I mean, they didn't flat out say Finn is not force sensitive. He just wasn't at that point. I'm just sort of clinging on to it. Okay, so I mean, it's
Yeah,
I'm
true,
just, I'm
true.
just fanboying out because God, they better not fucking lie to me about that. I gotta be so fucking disappointed.
Well,
In the
then you have sorry, but then you have the ex machina moment where the ground just splits between them, and because that's just bad storytelling because they had no other way to end that fight. I bet you they had no other way in mind to end that fight. Because at that point, of course, Poe had shot all the generators after Chewbacca blew up that shit. So, I mean, that's just again bad storytelling. And they get off, and Hux, the general for the First Order, he uh, he gets told by Snoke that to get Kylo Ren, who's in the fucking forest somewhere, he doesn't know where, and get him off the planet. I'm like, okay, that's okay. And well, it's also very on the nose when goddamn phone when Hux has his speech in front of all the legions. It's so reminiscent of fucking Nazis that it's not even. It's so fucking obvious as well when they fired that against the Senate earlier in the movie. So, and then they of course go back, and I've also seen this again a criticism that
Sorry. The whole Nazi thing, right? Remember what I mentioned earlier about political commentary? I mean, that sort of makes it explicitly sort of that they're sort of drilling it in there because America sat back and did a lot of nothing while the Germany rose to power until Germany fucking actually blew up, or that's so until the Axis powers actually blew up some shit.
Don't forget Japan. Don't forget Imperial Japan. What they did to us.
Yeah, that's saying America didn't do anything until they
Oh no!
personally
In
got in.
fact, the American actually sold Imperial Japan the fuel and the steel and iron they needed to wage war further. Otherwise, the Japanese would stuck in fighting on foot with the rest of the Republic of China. They would not even be able to project their air superiority and their naval power to destroy us that bad.
Not only that, but it was kind of clear that the U.S. was funneling supplies to the Allies, anyways. So,
Yep.
okay, but that was the sort of broad political commentary. The Republic at large was doing nothing while this sort of threat that was fucking up everybody was growing, and it was supposed to sort of internally make sense why the Republic was doing nothing, whereas the Resistance were like the U.S. pilots that volunteered to fight in the war ish.
Not to mention the
well,
fight is underwhelming. Look at the arsenal both sides are bringing up. Just TIE fighter versus X-wing, no capital ship combat, no nothing. I mean, look at the space
yeah,
battle in the Return of the Jedi. That was some of the best space battle I ever seen in my life.
Even
Also,
just
the
a
sort
few
of
votes.
the spaceships going broadside with each other. The TIE interceptors show up, and we seen how awesome those things are and capture the heart of many Imperial fans. And like when Wedge and Tidus do two TIE interceptors ram into one of the Alliance battleship. Dude, that ship was amazing.
It was
This is underwhelming.
they really gave a sense of what was happening outside of the little,
And
the world did not revolve around the Jedi, but
yeah.
it was a point on which a lot of things turned. Whereas in this movie, it was literally everything was the Jedi and the end.
Everything wrong, right? Well, we can get to the end then, where again, one of the biggest complaints is when they get back, Chewie just goes past Leia, who knows Han is dead. They don't even
He got
hug
over
or.
that pretty fucking quick.
No, it's not. It's like, what? Who's writing this shit? Chewie and Leia would at least hug or something, but you clearly see Chewbacca just goes straight past her and hugs Rey, who she doesn't even
Yeah,
fucking know.
what the fuck does she care for Han Solo? She barely knows the guy. I mean, like, I can understand that there was sort of a father-ish figure thing going here, so she could be upset. But I mean, Leia is fucking your bro there, Chewbacca, and she lost her husband, and you lost a lifelong friend. Who the fuck is this kid?
Chemistry.
Yeah.
She wasn't even the one that bandaged you, okay?
Do you know
And
how?
then we.
Sorry, a quick one. Do you know how to tell a good story between characters? Chemistry. You don't need to say a lot, just chemistry alone. The whole movie just kind of fuck up with the chemistry of the most important older characters there.
Yeah.
Just like you said.
And they did, which is surprising because they did amazingly well with Finn and Poe because they had a good little bromance going there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when they then go to find Luke, because suddenly R2D2 smells something or whatever he does.
Yeah, no shit.
Hey boy.
Yeah, so
he
R2D2 decides to just up and wake up for whatever reason. They don't really, they don't even like hint that there is something there that would have. I don't get it. I mean, R2D2 isn't force sensitive or anything. And it's not like the map component was just now getting there. It's been there the entire time.
Yeah, exactly. BB-8 has been there for a while. So again, lazy storytelling. And then you have the biggest cliffhanger with when they go and to find Luke, and they go and find Luke, and he doesn't say anything.
Why are they just sending her off alone with Chewbacca when the entire Resistance has been busting their ass?
Exactly. What the fuck?
Leia, why are you not going? Why is nothing happening here? Just
that's your brother.
That's it. That's that's our fucking brother. Oh, and you know what they should have done? I mean, not only should Kylo Ren have kicked their asses, and they did that whole thing with Chewie saving them, right? But they should have had a parallel. When she was going off to see Luke, when Rey was going off to see Luke, they should have also showed Kylo Ren speaking with Snoke, because remember, what seems to have been just sort of completely thrown over the cliff here was that Kylo Ren passed his test. Okay, Kylo Ren needs to be stepping up and accepting that he is the fucking man. It's time for him to get his due. That should have.
Snoke even says that. No, he's going to get proper training, basically.
Yeah.
But looking at the biggest cliffhanger, like Rey's just showing that lightsaber, and for some reason Luke couldn't go without it all these years, and
Luke has a different saber, but.
Yeah, but I would guess in the next movie, Rey's teaching Luke instead of the other way around. The progress she's having.
That's what makes you going. Yeah. So you want to teach Luke how you pull all that out of your ass, because.
And by the way, do you guys notice the way she's holding the lightsaber? She's pointing the blade and at Luke Skywalker. I was like, holy fucking god, that's rude as fuck. Either she holds the handle side to her, or she points the blade side to her to show reverence. That's not how you show reverence to fucking Luke Skywalker, man.
So are you challenging him to a duel here, or what?
Exactly. Bang, nailed it.
God, just the whole character. I mean, they wasted everything. Just falls apart at that final act. I mean, Rey is someone who masters piloting the Millennium Falcon, who is taken in as a sort of, foster child of fucking Han Solo, is the actual child of Luke Skywalker, is apparently one of the most powerful Force users we've seen in the movie canon, and can master a lightsaber after picking it up for literally the first time in her life. That is fan fiction.
Yeah, and I would like to add to that. If she isn't Luke's daughter, that doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever. Because she fixes things just like Anakin. She's a pilot just like Anakin and Luke, and force sensitive. Her progress can't be explained in any other fucking way.
Apparently, it was leaked. What was it? Angry Joe, or someone that was playing through Disney Infinity.
Well, that's kind of in the air because someone, because it says either curses or cousin,
No, that's
in
cousin.
that fight.
Face me, cousin. Face me,
If
curses. No, that's face me, cousin. That's very clearly cousin.
yeah, no, because I've seen some say face me, and she throws the barrel, and he says curses, but it's if she isn't the cousin, it doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever.
I don't think he says, if he said curses when getting hit, you would think he would say it again or at some other point, because that shit's looped. I mean, that's
Yeah,
not just something you'd expect him to shout
but
out at least one other point in time when he gets hit.
true, but I mean, Rey is a fucking Mary Sue. She has no flaws whatsoever. Has a progression nobody else has.
She's sad
Even with
sometimes.
I nearly walk out of the theater. I'm just replying to the chat.
What are they saying?
Oh,
yeah,
so
I'm looking at the
to
chat.
walk out of the theater. I nearly done that.
Oh, I didn't walk out of the theater, but I was sort of stunned. I mean, just I was, God damn it, Finn, why? Damn it, Finn, what waste the fucking Challenger, fucking what wasted so much potential, just gone. It's
And
so yeah, wasted.
we have from the chat here, any character that has no mystery becomes less interesting. So now we're more invested in the future movies. She's a prodigy? Question mark. Maybe we'll see.
No, no, that's not mystery. Those are plot holes. Okay, very distinct difference here. A mystery is something that we don't know and want to know. Plot holes are something inconsistent that doesn't make sense, and
Mm.
we're
And
just
we have another.
wondering how they're gonna write their way out of this one.
Yeah, full screen Bonfire says, I'm all for mystery, but it really did feel like Rey wasn't in any danger for the entire movie, which we kind of said.
Right. Ah, man, just.
Oh god, just expect all the people accusing someone else being what's it, sexist or whatever just for Ray.
Of course they are, because I mean, if you want to think about it in another context, there's actually what blog wrote this up. They mentioned that Ray's character and her interaction with fucking Finn was just essentially SJW wish fulfillment. Turning a number of tropes on their head, and she's a Mary Sue character with no flaws whatsoever. She'll rah rah woo strong woman character, etc. etc. Never mind that she is a complete stereotype of lazily written character design. Just they don't care. They of all the ways that could have been done right, they don't care. It's dumb though. There are enough flaws just in the way. God, damn it all falls down, at least for me, to the last act. Just everything took a left turn, and she went from being somewhat conspicuously competent to a complete fucking over the top Mary Sue fan fiction. What are they even fucking trying anymore at this point? It's
I mean, if you take a look at you have these discussions on Reddit and everywhere where I've been kind of part of, where they say, "Oh, the shot he got from Chewbacca," and the like you said earlier with the bullshit argument that he was in emotionally unstable, and he wasn't even and that he wasn't properly trained with his sword arm made him weak. Again,
No,
Even
half of that are points against them for that because I mean, understand being emotionally distraught like that, and all that emotional turmoil, that anger and that confusion, all that feels the dark side of the Force. Okay,
yeah,
that should have been his most powerful moment. He should have been beyond unstoppable. That's that.
yeah, and
I thought,
we even see it. He disposes Finn quite easily.
and fucking shrugs off Ray and shrugs off Chewbacca's blaster bolt to the fucking stomach. I mean, that is a nasty place to take a shot, by the way. So I mean, it looked like, I mean, everything else played up like Finn was being the unstoppable raging beast of fucking the dark side that he should have been, and then it all just gets thrown out the window to play up Ray. It's
Yeah, not to mention the sword skill training thing. That's bullcrap. I've seen little kids who swing the sword better than that. Want to see one? The little girl from Britain Got Talent, the little samurai girl. What was her name? Do you remember that?
in what?
Britain Got Talent. In earlier this year, they got a little girl, probably around 10 or 12. She was doing all the Bushido sword thing.
Little British girl doing Bushido. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I could not care any fucking.
No, I meant you can find better sword fighters than whatever emo. I mean, much at much younger age. So I wouldn't buy into the whole point of his sword training was inadequate. That's bullcrap.
Yeah, there's really no good excuse for Kylo Ren having gotten his ass kicked by someone who had no fucking idea what they were doing. Should have had no real idea of what they were doing.
And not to mention, force sensitive people, like Jedi or Sith, they are able to suppress pain and stuff like that with their sheer willpower alone. So that is bullcrap. He's
Yeah, I also heard the argument that there was an awakening in the Force, and it all came to in her. But that still doesn't make any fucking sense because Anakin was basically conceived by the Force. If it was Plagueis, it's kind of unclear. But he was a virgin, like Qui-Gon says, of the Force, and he couldn't have this progress.
No way. Listen, she out of the blue took down a protege of Luke Skywalker and another Force Master. I mean, understand, this guy was at some point trained by Luke Skywalker before, turning dark side and thrashing the Academy. Okay, there is really no better training this guy could have gotten in either, the art of the lightsaber or the art of the Force. There is no excuse for him losing that fight to someone who just discovered that the Force exists and just picked up a lightsaber for the first time in their fucking life.
Hell, bring Darth Maul. Darth Maul will eat all three of them alive.
I didn't like Darth.
Here in the chat, full screen boss fight says she literally went Super Saiyan.
Bravo.
You're fucking saying. That makes sense. Yeah, because
that's the only way to. Yeah. That's the only way to explain this. That's the only way to explain this because this is retconning the everything we know. If you go by the series, the movies, everything. I mean, Ezra even had more training, and Kanan, and she would probably kick their ass.
Okay, I know what happened. J.J. Abrams got himself a washed-out Shonen Jump writer to write this fucking. Actually, say Shonen Jump, I mean Shonen Jump, motherfuckers.
Oh, that's horrible. Oh man, that's fucked up. Funny.
Yeah, because if you take a look at the entire lore, canon, what Disney said is now canon. It still doesn't make any fucking sense because Kanan was actually a Padawan, and Ezra is also. They got fucking owned by Vader in the series. Spoiler alert! It doesn't. It makes sense if you think about it. But they, by the looks of it, they would get fucking owned by Rey, by her progress because, yeah. She's a mercy because she has no flaws. I've also heard argument that she has flaws. I would like for you people who listen to this afterwards to put them in the comment section, because she has no fucking flaws. Because she lied about the gun. That's not even a flaw. She was just being cocky. She fixes everything. She saves everyone in this fucking movie.
Pretty much. It's pretty much. I mean,
they could have
inconsistent skill sets that require no training.
You know, they could have just not gone to that planet and just let Rey fuck up the Star Killer for herself, because then Han would have been alive. Because that's how overpowered she is.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know. Do you guys have anything to add before we close this?
I don't. That's pretty much it. I mean,
it's almost like they gave up and completely just look at A New Hope. How can we make this even more Shonen Jump Mary Sue is? Oh, there we have it. Make Rey the most Mary Sue character possible, even more than Korra, more than whoever else we can think of, the Bella or whatever. And then throw away all the really good designs they had before, with the fucking TIE bombers, with the TIE interceptors, or the the A wing, B wing, Y wing. Yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah, because by the looks of it, she's fucking Goku, and she's gonna go Super Saiyan 2 in the next movie.
Have we talking about how Rey was nearly unscathed in that fight?
Yeah, her clothes didn't even get really dirty.
even more, that is even more Mary Sue than Korra. At least Korra get her beat the shit out of, but still.
Yeah, because the only bump she got was when she got flung into that tree, which should have knocked her the fuck out. But apparently it's like a little vacation for her.
Yeah, at least she should have suffered some kind of internal bleeding or something. And it's like, you fuck with my friend, I can fuck you up. Doesn't matter if I gonna lose both my arm and stuff. That's something needs to be shown to show that the desperation and the gravity of the situation. But no, has to go.
Yeah, I would just before we close this, I would just give you the definition of a Mary Sue before everyone shits on me. See, Mary Sue, a female fan fiction character who is so perfect as to be annoying. The main equivalent is the Marty Stu, often abbreviated to Sue. A Mary Sue character is usually written by a beginning author. Often the Mary Sue is self-insert with few improvements, better bar, the more popular. The Mary Sue character is almost always beautiful, smart, etc. In short, she's the perfect girl. The Mary Sue usually falls in love with the author's favorite character and winds up upstaging all of the other characters in the book's series universe. There are several main types of Mary Sue. Doesn't that sound like Rey?
It should. That should sound familiar.
Yeah, except for the falling in love part. That's basically Rey.
I mean, my friend, one of my friends missed his chance to watch Star Wars, and he wants me to watch it with him. And I pretty much told him that I'd rather commit seppuku than watch Force Awakens again, or Force Unleashed, whatever that shit is.
Yeah,
I mean, there are much better things to do than watching that movie again, and just wanted to walk out of the damn movie theater.
Full screen BuzzFest says she's gathering mana for the next movie, I guess. Anyways, any last words before we close this?
I'm sad. I gotta go back play X-Wing versus TIE Fighter or X-Wing Alliance. Thank you very much.
I'm beyond disappointed with Finn.
I can't. I can do this. Each of you, one of you, give a score and a short summary. Noble, you could go first.
Um, Overall, I liked the movie. Okay. I was just supremely disappointed in Finn, and it didn't really go south for me until the last act, where everything just took a left turn. I mean, we nitpicked at a lot of other issues throughout the movie. It had its flaws and whatnot, but I mean, there are things I can get over. But what happened with Finn? No. What happened at the end with that whole out of the blue Mary Sue fan fiction bullshit? No. That's killed it for me. You
What
want me to
what
give
would
an actual
you rate
score to it
it?
though? Oh. I'd give it somewhere between a 7 or 8. I mean, it's not a waste of your money to see it. It's worthwhile. It's enjoyable. It just has a couple of very glaring flaws.
Yeah, as a general rating, you would give it a 7. But for a Star Wars movie, what would you give it?
Oh, Jesus. It would have to be lower. I'm not gonna bomb it because I mean I mean it's not that bad. It just has those couple, oh God, more than a couple. I mean,
We've gone
I'm gonna
almost 2 hours
below
hitting on it.
below the original trilogy, above the George Lucas trilogy, above the prequel trilogy, I should say. So it's sort of in between there. All right, it's not episode 1, 2, or 3, but it's not quite living up to the old school 4, 5, 6.
All right, Paulie.
I would rate this on par with the prequel. And like I said before, I rather commit seppuku than immediately rewatch The Force Awakens. Especially consider I say I'm moderately invested into the Star Wars universe and the extended universe. You probably can imagine how much facepalm I had. Basically, I was ready to accept the movie like in the first 30 minutes until Ray started flying Millennium Falcon like a expert. That's the moment I was like, oh fuck, this is the where the movie going for.
So out
And
of 10, what would you rate it, Paulie?
I would give it 5, and it's a definitely thumb down.
Well, I already kind of did my review. I'm kind of different because I actually think episode 3 is the best one. But I'm kind of in the minority.
Revenge of the Sith?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Um. I know people like to shit on the prequels, but I actually
I'll,
rated.
I'll give you that Revenge of the Sith was better than the other two, but
I agree.
But it's just me, my taste. I just like the whole dark turn and but
the end fight was cool. But then again, in contrast, one of the things I liked about the Finn and Kylo Ren fight was that it was old school. You know, they weren't fucking doing the acrobatic flips and going all fucking woo like fucking like the old Jedi the prequel um fight scenes reminded me more of sort of
Chinese
fucking
wuxia flick,
yeah
eh?
yeah that reminded me of some anime shit
Yeah, it's
of
basically
how
Chinese.
that was all anime to me. But the way that they were fighting, particularly if you look at um, the Finn and Kylo Ren fight, that was well choreographed. I mean, we mentioned that briefly before, but just the fact that they were going at it like you know old school. That's
Like medieval sword fighting, hey? Kind of like the stuff you see in Kingdom
yes.
Come Deliverance.
It was more like the actual fights that you saw in the original series.
true. But the movies I kind of like the least are 1 and 4. So I rated above those, and I give it a 7 out of 10 in my initial review. But as a Star Wars movie, I gotta give it like a 5 or something. So
I'm kind of
uh,
shying away from just giving it a flat number because I think that's kind of misleading. I mean, we've seen that with games journalism, a lot of stuff. Reviews in general, just giving flat out numbers with no context, it's awkward. I'm
Well,
fine.
we've been discussing this for 2 hours, so we have plenty of context.
Yeah, yeah.
So that would be just flinging out a number after 2 minutes. That's different between this and 2 hours. So, anyways, I think we pretty much summed it up pretty well. So I'm gonna finish it here. Any last words?
Nope, that's it.
Same here.
All right.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna close it down, and yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Then, bye.